Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to do the beginner campaign setup and then how to manage this after as well. So what we want to do is we're assuming that we did our testing and we had a look and everything worked out for the one. So we're going to create a new one now, a new campaign based on our winner. So we don't, like at this point I don't really know if it won or not because it hasn't even ran, but I'm just going to assume it is. So I put my platform name here, and then my niche, and then I'm going to put the type of campaign, and then the date that I start it, and then the name. So it'll be to my son. Oops. Always remember. And then actually, can't do that type. I have to start out with a page post engagement campaign, which is not as powerful as the other types that we're going to use, but when you're first starting you don't have much information on your pixel, and your pixel, how many times it fires, is very important to the performance. So we need to start somewhere, so we're going to start with a little tiny, it's basically, well, I'll show you here, I wrote it out for you. So it's $5 ad sets, or 5 ad sets, $5 daily budget each, auto bidding, interest-based targeting, and this is PPE, which means page post engagement, as the objective. And we'll run it to the same ad we used in testing. Okay, because we're going to run all our ads to that same post so that we can get build up the social proof, and it works very well that way. So I'll show you how to do that. So we'll call this number 3-1, and it's going to be based on the purchase event. Then again we put the date. You'll see how the first one setting up takes a little bit of time, but after that it goes pretty quick. So now we'll just leave that blank for now. So I will copy this to my ad name. I just name them both the same. And I click create. And now I'm in my campaign, but I'm just going to do a search by campaign name and put 003 in there. That way I know that I'm only in this one. So I can click it, or I can click the ad set tab, look at it, and now here's where I can go to work. So I need to set my budget to $5 a day. I can have it start right now if I want. Or actually, it's always good practice when it's at night to start it the next day at 12 o'clock a.m. That gives it a full day to optimize and run properly. And then down here, I'm just going to put United States, like so. Then I want to target men, and I want them to be same as my test ad, 40 to 64. And now for targeting, we can do a lot of different things here. So we have the sun interest, and there's 82 million, well, 2.7 million people on that. So I want to layer that with something else. So what I'll do is I'll just go in here, and now I can put in basically generic interests. So I can start with stuff like fishing, and I can have guys who like fishing and their son, and that's 1.4 million people. So it has to be that and that. It can't just be that or that. Make sense? And then we go to edit placements. That's the beauty of the family niche. And when you're trying to target dads, it's pretty easy. We could also do something like this. Instead of son, we could do parents all. So if I type that in, you see this come up. So I could do people who are parents and who like fishing. Okay, but the son one, just make sure it's a son that they have, or the odds of it being a son are a little bit more. It could be that they're a son themselves, so it can't get complicated, but just do son and fishing for now. And so down here I removed everything except for the feeds, mobile and desktop. And then for delivery I leave everything on auto. Okay, later on we'll get into manual bids, but for now it's all auto. So here I go, sun and fishing. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to go to the ad, And I'm going to edit the ad. Now I'm just going to pull up my page. There we go. And I'll paste this in here. And now I want to enter a post ID, so I need that post ID from my ad. So if I go here and go to page posts, and then just click it, and I can get my post ID again. So I can use the same one that I ran the test on. Paste that in there. There we go. And now I'm also going to use tracking IDs. So TID equals, so that's campaign 3, ad set number 1. That's what that means. Same as my ad name. So there's 1. So now I got to do 4 more. So I just do a duplicate. Call it number 2. And then just scroll down. The only change I'm going to make is right here to the broad interest. And maybe I'll do hunting this time. So guys who like suns and hunting. Copy this, go to the ad tab, click edit, paste it in there, and then I just need to change this to a 2. Then go back to the ad sets, do a duplicate. So once you do duplicates, it's really easy because it goes real quick. And what I'll do is probably something like, see what else I got in here. Let's try the name of that store, Cabela's. It's a sporting goods store. And notice I'm not being real picky with this because by the time it gets to the big advanced stuff, I'm not even really going to be using interest at all. I'm just going to be using lookalike audiences. So I don't even, all I'm really using these for is to get some initial sales and to build up my audiences that I'm going to build. So I'm not super picky. As long as I have sun and something, I'm good. Then I can try this. There's another neat one. Fatherhood. And there's father and sons in there too. So I'll just put that in. So fatherhood, son and fatherhood pretty much guarantees it's a guy with a son. So that's number 4. Select that. Edit. Paste. And change this to a 4 as well. And then go back to the ad set. Do one more duplicate for 5 of them. So this will run $25 a day. And I think I saw father and son in here. Father and sons. So that might be a good interest even on its own. Let's try removing this, see what happens. It's really small, 3,000, so it's not really worth going after. So let's go back to sun. Let's do another broad interest. So I click narrow audience again. And here I can do even crazy stuff like happiness. So it's basically unlimited what you can do for your other interest. Because we know that if they're fathers, we don't really know what they like. We don't really care what they like as long as it sells. So I didn't even really need to put purchase in there. That's habit. You can eliminate that. I'm used to doing that with website conversion ads, so let's just get rid of that. Then we'll go to the ads, click edit. Oh, I did it for all of them. Okay, so I'll just delete that real quick. You can see how I can delete it fast. Just go here, highlight it, delete. Use the arrows on my keyboard, works well too. When I do a website conversion ad, I do put this in here so I know what type of optimization I'm doing, and you'll see what I mean later. But for now, we're doing a page post engagement ad, so we can't optimize it for the purchase event. Okay, almost done. So there's my 5 ad sets. So I'm going to upload them. Excuse me. So all I do is I review changes, click apply, and it's going to upload that. And then when I come into my ads manager now, if I go to campaigns, just X out all these, you can see the campaigns right there. So now I can go into it, and what I'm going to do is basically every morning, well, I go in a couple times a day, but on a $5 campaign we don't have to worry about it too much. And I'm going to go in here and check the stats. So it's scheduled to start tonight at midnight, $5, and here's where I can see this content views is people who clicked to the Gear Bubble page, this is people who added it to cart, and this is people who actually bought. And then I can see my cost per purchase here. So very cool. Ready to go and all scheduled up. And then when we get into the scaling phase, I'll show you how to scale this. There's 2 ways, by duplication or by adding more ad sets. So horizontally we can scale, or we can scale vertically. Well, actually there's 3 ways. We can do duplication, then we can add more interest-based ad sets, and we can also tinker with the budget. Although I don't really like doing that too much, but it is possible. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but we will get to that when the time comes. For now, the key thing to remember is if an ad set spends your break-even amount, so if this column amount spent is, like in this case, $27, because that's what our profit per sale is, but we do not have a purchase, then we are going to pause the ad set. And when we pause the ad set, we need to replace it with another one. So we have at least 5 running each day. Okay, that makes sense? That's kind of your ongoing management. Now at $5 a day, it's going to take a little over 5 days for each one of these to hit $25 even, let alone 27. So we've got a little bit of time to play with. That's why these are, remember we talked about velocity? These go slower than a snail's pace. But they can be profitable still, so they're worth doing, especially when you're a beginner, because I want to get your experience up there and your risk up there, and let you experience a little bit of sales before you jump into the big stuff, which we will show you. But it can get, you can spend a lot of money real fast. Alright? If you have any questions, let me know. But go ahead and set up your beginner campaign. This is only when you find a winner, remember. Okay, this isn't for every single one. So you need to go through your campaigns and your test campaign, and you're only going to find ones that are winners to launch with either the beginner, intermediate, advanced, or the super advanced one.